Okay,
Okay.
so we just want to welcome everybody to this session about tools for OER. And to get us started, Arlysse is going to start us off.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Arlysse. I work in Archer Library in user services and instruction sessions like this and general reference. So today we're going to go over a few tools for creating OER. We're going to spend a lot of time on Pressbooks, but we will talk a little bit about a few other platforms here. So our plan for this morning then is we're going to go through a basic presentation of, just running through some really basic information. We'll do a little bit of a live sample, and then we're going to spend a fair amount of time to either troubleshoot or try some things. I sent you an activity in an email this morning. We can go through that together, or we can just have time for people to try things out, and I'll be here to answer your questions with Isaac as well. So to get started, let me just pull up here our presentation, and let's see if we can go into full screen. Oh, and I can still see everybody. Perfect. All right. So like I say, we're going to take a look mostly at Pressbooks today, but a few other OER sources and a few other platforms for creating OER. So Isaac, did you want to speak on a few creation tools by type here, or?
Okay, so most of you have encountered probably the first two up there. So we've got like Office 365, which is Microsoft Office, or Office 365 as they've rebranded themselves. And then the Google Docs, which is free. And I've categorized them here by whether or not they're free, commercial, open source. As you can see there, there's some freeware, or really shareware, actually should be shareware. The first ones are actually what you would call word processing tools. So LibreOffice is an open source option, and WPS Office is a commercial option, but it's cheaper. And then SoftMaker Office is another cheaper alternative to Word, which is a fairly good platform. And then, of course, we've got Pressbooks, LibreText. So depending on where you're coming from in terms of your discipline, you may be familiar with some of these or maybe none of them. For people in the STEM areas, things like LaTeX, TechLive, NewTek, and those type of things would be a little bit familiar. But we do also have something, like if you go down, we've got WordPress, which is what Pressbooks is based on. And EdTech books, LibreText at the top there are similar to Pressbooks. And as you go down there, you can see there's OER Commons, which in the earlier presentation this morning, Kara talked a little bit about OER Commons. There is an authoring tool in OER Commons that can be used. And then there's things like Merlot, which also enables you to create content as well. And Wikibooks, which some of you may know about. And then there's we know about TED Talks, but they also have a content builder tool. And something that I most recently found out was the H2O, which is right at the bottom from Harvard University. It's a casebook for law areas, and it's free. And that's, I can't remember exactly when they started, but it's a recent thing that they have the last couple of years or something like that. So in this handout, you have all of these listed as well as their locations in case you want to go and explore further. And I don't know, that's pretty much about it for these different tools. We can't, of course, sample all of them, but we will focus on the one that is the big one that we have, which is Pressbooks, as Arlysse mentioned.
For sure. And this chart is also included in the handout that I sent out this morning as well. There's a PDF handout and then a PDF activity. So you don't need to worry about writing all this down. Isaac has everything on the table there for you in the handout. So we will dig right into Pressbooks. We will come back to a couple of those other platforms later on here, but we will spend the majority of the time today with Pressbooks. So we're just going to walk through the basics of Pressbooks about how to, basically how to build a book. We will try to build a book today as well, time provided. But we're just going to walk through step by step. And I realize that these little steps that I have organized, they're going to be like there's 10 steps within each step, but it's just to get us started, a real beginning approach here, and assuming that we don't have too much experience with this type of thing, just a very, very basic introductory starting point here. So these are my 7 steps that we use in other presentations that basically you can read them there, but they're basically just the sort of the core steps of what we're doing when we create a book. So this is Pressbooks specifically, and I tend to say that Pressbooks is a fairly user-friendly platform, but I would say it's user-friendly if you're comfortable with something like Word. If not, then it might be a little bit more of a learning curve at the beginning, but it's definitely something, the more you use it, the friendlier it gets. And, we'll go over the user manuals and everything a little bit there as well, because they are surprisingly user-friendly as well. So step 1 there, and I'm thinking it's just on a timer if it jumps ahead there, so I'll come back if we need to. But step 1 there is literally just creating a new book in the platform. Once we've logged in and everything, it really is that simple. There is a button that says create new book, and we just fill in the address and the name for the book. We're basically creating a website for our content, and that is the book itself. So the address itself, like the web address, is something that can't be changed. So you either want to keep it something general, or you want to make it so that it's something that you're absolutely sure you're not going to want to change it later. Whereas the name of the book itself can be changed as you go. So just a little note there. Later on, once we get into there, it will see the content on Pressbooks itself, but you can easily adapt the appearance, the themes, the styles, all of that kind of thing. It really is just selecting a theme and everything is changed for you through the book. No copying and pasting and formatting like that necessary. Now the beginning, the middle, and the end there, of course, these are many steps in one again, but the beginning is what we're talking about, the front matter of a book, right? All of our licensing information, our authors, all that kind of thing, just like a physical book, right? Then the middle is your content, everything that you want to put in your textbook, whether it's a clone book or something you're starting from scratch, all of that information is in the middle. And then the end is where we're just like, again, like a physical book, where we're going to put our indexes, all that kind of thing, anything we want to add on at the end there, any resources for our students, that kind of thing can go all into the back matter. Step number 6 probably takes the most amount of time, editing, right? Edit, edit, edit. The beautiful thing about something like Pressbooks is because you're creating a website, you can edit it pretty much all the time. If you do something like export a PDF version of your book, then that's going to stay that version. It's going to be static, right? Whereas when we're on our little website here, it's something that you can always edit, always update, and it is, very easy to make changes, again, whether you're cloning or making your own text. And then publishing. Publishing is a little bit of, there's sort of 2 sides to it. You can either just make it so that the little website you're creating is public access, right? Like so that anybody can see it, or you can actually export it into something like iBooks. So there's a couple of different options there, but I will show you that on the Pressbooks screen as well. Now, already leaping into troubleshooting, just a couple of things to keep in mind here is that we are going to, I'm just going to move my little screen faces there. We do want to keep a Word document of the content of your book on the side. I haven't personally run into any issues where I've lost work on a Pressbooks document, but it's always worth it to back up everything. This is sort of all of the horror stories we hear of somebody losing their work is, we haven't backed it up 9 times out of 10. This is something that if you're working on a very specific project, you might want to create a schedule. Of course, like I say, editing always takes more time than we think it will, especially when we're looking at things like, because we're creating that website, we also want to consider what it's going to look like on mobile phones, on iPads, that kind of thing, because I couldn't say the majority necessarily, but I would say a large number of students are now doing all of their classes on mobile devices, right? We think of students more on laptops and desktop computers, but a lot of them are on their phones or on their tablets, either taking classes or even writing exams and everything right on their smartphones. So the beautiful thing about a program like Pressbooks is it does show you what it's going to look like. And even if you were just to copy and paste your private link to your textbook, you can even test it yourself and just see how it's actually going to work in real time. And then of course testing everything, right? Not just the how it's going to look, but once we start incorporating things like H5P or YouTube videos, things like that in there, it's always good to test it out, because students will find those little errors and email you 1,000 times to let you know that it's wrong. And then of course we always want to ask for help. Isaac and I are always here. The Pressbooks team themselves, they're really fantastic at answering questions very quickly, and they also have really fantastic resources that I will show you, including a YouTube channel that shows you how to do everything that we're talking about here today. They have a wonderful YouTube channel. Always good when it's sort of a last minute, oh shoot, how do I do this? The manual isn't making sense. All right, so that being said, they do have a user guide that's really amazing. I will show it to you. It's very user-friendly wording. It's not using a bunch of technical terms or anything like that. It's basically, again, assuming that we're starting from the beginning. Now, they have a separate EDU user guide, which the U of R does subscribe to the EDU version of Pressbooks, or Edu version. And the most important part about that is that there's this section on cloning. So cloning is basically duplicating an already existing text, provided that we have the correct licensing and everything. Now, Pressbooks can only do this to another Pressbook. So we can't import something from LibreText or something like that. And I mean, you can technically copy and paste the content. That's going to be a little bit more cumbersome to do. But if it's already published on Pressbooks, you can clone it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later once we're actually in the Pressbooks program itself. But it is honestly easier than it sounds. It's very 1, 2, 3 as well. And then, like I say, the Pressbooks YouTube channel, very useful channel. I will show you that as well very shortly. So cloning itself, like I say, cloning is basically duplicating the book, and it's not just copy and paste. It is literally taking it and making another one exactly the same. But this is a very practical solution in as this, Creative Commons OER world continues to grow, that, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel, right? If there's a wonderful text out there and it has the right licensing to duplicate it and to adapt it, then absolutely go right ahead. You can always, if you're absolutely not sure about the licensing, you can ask the authors themselves. Of course, there's usually contact information in there, or even check with us to see if we can see anything wrong with the licensing. But it usually stops you from cloning it if there is a problem. So it's not generally an issue that you could accidentally clone something inappropriately. But I always like to mention too that within this community of OER, there's very much that sort of collaborative attitude about everything. We hear often about people from different institutions joining together to create a textbook, or somebody from Ontario says, hey, I heard that you guys in Saskatchewan were looking for something like this. Here you go, that kind of thing. So it's really becoming almost like a movement and a community, which is really, really wonderful. And then, of course, if you don't spend as much time on creating your content, then you have more time to work on things like H5P content, adding those little quizzes and, mathematical equations and things like that within the textbook, which is particularly useful for the student and the way we're thinking of how the student is learning and accessibility and all that kind of thing. The students of this generation are very used to everything being online and accessible like that. So the more we can do that sort of makes sense from their world for you, and that applies appropriately to our textbooks and our class content, the better it's going to be to connect with these students. And then, of course, we practice what we preach. We're always going to make sure to attribute and acknowledge the original authors of the text and that kind of thing. But that should get duplicated when you clone a book, but, it's something we still want to pay attention to. Any questions so far? We are going to dig into a bit more here before we go into sort of the practical side of things, but are we surviving okay so far? I'm always told that there's either a lot of information or it's too simplified. So we'll find the balance in the middle. Okay, it looks like we're okay so far. You can always put a question in the chat there if Isaac or myself can answer as we're going along here. All right, so looking at the OER resources that that we have at the U of R and that the library has as well. So we do have a couple of items that we've created in recent years. Most recently is our Pressbooks directory, the Pressbooks directory and the OER by discipline resource guide. Those have both come out in the last couple of years. The Pressbooks directory is only their Pressbooks texts, like just specifically, whereas the OER guide that Isaac and I put together with a few of our colleagues here, that is a number of resources from a number of platforms, a lot of different topics and that kind of thing. And I will show them to you directly as well. Oh, I guess this screen could have gone over anyways, but and so, like I say, Pressbooks is only Pressbooks. Ours is multiple disciplines, multiple topics, that kind of thing, including some information generally about what OER is and licensing and all that kind of thing. So I will, like I say, show that for you in just a couple of moments here. But, oh, yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry, that's not supposed to be happening. I don't know if anybody could hear that sound, but I'm just gonna. Can we still see the screen here? I thought I deleted all of my little recordings, but okay, we're okay. We'll keep it like this so that it's not in presentation mode. The research guides then. So these are library research guides. We have a whole selection of them for students, for general topics, all kinds of things. But Kara Bradley created 3 open access guides that we'll go over just a little bit here, but they're fairly self-descriptive. One is very general, open access page. One is specifically for OER, and then one is just for textbooks. So she's got some really great information there as well, but you can also access if our guide there, our U of R guide specifically, you can go to it from there as well. You can either go on the Pressbooks page or you can go there as well, but I'll show you how to get to all of that for sure. So outside of Pressbooks, since we are talking about Pressbooks a lot here today, like Isaac mentioned, there's a lot of resources that can be utilized here. Ones like LibreText or Lyrics, we've noticed that there tends to be more STEM textbooks coming out of there, whereas a lot of the ones coming through Pressbooks seem to be more social sciences and arts, but definitely not always. But just to keep in mind that different platforms might work better for whatever it is that you're hoping to create. Merlot I have there because it is specifically, there is a section that is peer reviewed as well. I'm not sure that everything that they create on there is peer reviewed, but there is the option to peer review within the Merlot platform. So it's just sort of a whole bunch of different approaches to similar projects, similar resources. But if you're digging into Pressbooks and you're just like, oh, it can't do this, oh, it can't do that, I'm not sure this is going to work for me, just keep in mind that there's all of these different options there, and we're not absolutely married to Pressbooks. There's a lot of wonderful stuff being created out there through these other platforms as well. So we won't dig too deeply into H5P today because there is a session for it tomorrow. But H5P, we're talking about that interactive content where we have like little multiple choice questions, or you can put in little plugins for different images, like a slideshow, that kind of thing, or one of those word choice games, all kinds of things. Very interactive and very useful again for the students, but it also kind of makes it a little more interesting, a little more fun, and it's useful to keep it all in mind with all of this. The accessibility of what we're creating is that a lot of students have different learning methods, and this is the kind of thing that can be really useful for them. So there is an OER hub that's been created by H5P, that they're basically building this community themselves. The one thing that's really useful to know about using Pressbooks Edu through the university is that it already has that plugin option. And so basically, if you want to add H5P into your Pressbook, there's just you press a little button and it acknowledges it. And then it's very easy to just import your H5P, your little screens, basically, that you're adding to your book. So it's made it basically done a lot of the middle work for us already. So this is something you could definitely spend a lot of time exploring H5P. You can go to the website, you can try all the different little tools and things like that. But like I say, there will be another presentation tomorrow, so we'll spend more time on that there. Now here's just a couple of notes on those different platforms that we talked about already. So are there any questions right now, or shall we go to some live demos of all these websites that I was talking about? No questions so far. I'm sure once we get to the end, once we're trying it out ourselves, there'll be some questions. But in the meantime, let's go to a few of these websites. So we'll start here. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to move one of my screens here. And there we go. Okay, so this is my Pressbooks when I log into it. Isaac will have set you up with, hopefully you've seen the emails there. If you haven't already tried logging in, we can do that later. But this is basically sort of the landing page for my Pressbooks. Now, if I were to just, ignoring all of my books and things like that, I've got a whole bunch of demo ones here. If I decided I wanted to create a brand new textbook today, I'm literally just going to the top of the screen here. I'm going to this drop down menu in the red here, and I'm going to create a new book. So this is something we'll walk through together at the end here again. We're just going to scroll down here and I just start filling in the blanks basically. So this is my open textbook. Let's say we want, this is going to be the webbook address, pardon me. Let's say boot camp OER. That's going to be the end of my little website address. And I'm just going to call it that as well here. So this part I can change later on. But this part is going to stay exactly the same. And do I want it visible to the public? Absolutely not. This is just a playing around book. So we're going to press no there. And then I create book. And oh, site names. Oh, look at that. It's correcting me. Thank you for correcting me, Pressbooks. So this all needs to be lowercase. That's all we need to do there. Create book. Come on. Everything was going. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go to, why is it letting? Oh, there we go. Okay. Just needed a little more time. Patience, Arlysse. All right, so it's already created the basic structure here for me. Surprisingly, if I were to go over to visit book, you would already see a basic book there. But here is what we're going to add everything, introduction, main body, all of that. It's already set up as the most basic format here. Now, over on the left-hand side here, we've got all of the basically the modification options. Organize is where I'm going to do the bulk of those middle steps, right? Adding my content, adding my chapters, that kind of thing. I've got book info. This is where I'm going to put my general information. It's already got myself as an author here, but if I wanted to put my license in, that kind of thing, all of that's going to be in here. If I wanted to change the cover of my book, it's just a very long form to fill out basically. And you don't need to fill in every single one. It's just whatever's most appropriate for your specific publication. Okay. So this is basically just like filling in a PDF form or something like that. I go over to appearance here. These are, start to get into some fun stuff here. It's largely by authors or all by authors, if I remember correctly. So some of these, as fun as they look, might not be particularly practical for the student and not very user-friendly once we're there. I think it's where is it, the Bronte theme? Yeah, like that looks really cool, but not a super practical font unless you're actually writing like an actual book, like a reading book, a fiction book. Maybe this would be more appropriate then, but for a textbook, probably not. But I don't know, maybe you want to try the Bronte theme. Let's go to that one today. Let's activate it and it will change everything for me. My internet is just slowing down. I apologize if it takes a little while here, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. If we're exporting, if we're, importing something, all that kind of thing, all these options are here. I know this is just walking through the real basics here. Once we dig in and do it ourselves, it'll feel completely different. But plugins here, this is where we're going to activate H5P and everything. It's already activated for me. If I wanted to deactivate it for some reason, I could do that as well. But all of this, actually, no, I don't think it is activated. I'm going to activate it there today. It was my other sample book that was already activated. So easy peasy, that one's done. I'm also going to go down to my media here and do that as well. No, where did it go? Did I miss it? I probably did. Okay, we'll revisit that later. Oh, there's the media. Yeah, there's media already there for me. So all this kind of thing, all of the different settings. I know it seems really 1, 2, 3 right now, but it's all here for us. If we go into organize, I'm going to do a little practice here. Let's go into chapter 1. I'm going to, there's add media is already in there for me. Let's just do a little change here. Let's go welcome. I'm going to add, let's add a picture here. I've got, let's see. Do I have pictures in here? Probably not. Pictures in here. Let's add something. Desktop pictures. Oh, this is not working at all. Okay, miscellaneous. There's some desktop pictures. Some pumpkins. Let's try those. I always use pumpkins. I have a lot of Halloween pictures. Okay, and I'm going to use this one here. Move my people again. I'm going to. Sorry, my screens are just not big enough. Insert into the chapter. It's terrible placement there, but it's going to be right there. So I'm going to make sure to save this, and then I'm going to test it out just to see what's happening. And it's just playing around with it, just trying all these different things. I can already go and visit this book to see what it's going to look like. Let's go down to chapter 1 here. And there's my little welcome and my pumpkin picture. So that's one of the things I love the most about Pressbooks is that you can already see that it's just everything is there right away. You can see how it's going to look. It's not going through, 3 weeks of editing and then you get there and it doesn't look like how you thought it was going to go. So back to that, introduction. Obviously there's nothing in here right now, but if I put all of my licensing information, everything is going to be here. It's going to be very accessible. So let's go back again here just for a second. Back. So before we go on to some of the other website, was there anything that anybody wanted to see within here before we dig into it a little bit further? Was there anything you had a question about this particular menu or up top here?
I have a question.
And again, we'll have time to go through it. You can practice this yourself while we're still here if you want to, but it's basically, like I say, if you're comfortable with Word, you're comfortable with this kind of menu style, it is just, trial and error, trying all of these different things. So we'll take a quick look here at a couple of the other websites I mentioned. So this is the user guide here. They've of course created it as a Pressbook itself.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Here, everything you could possibly want to know about Pressbooks is in here. It is exceedingly user-friendly. Book info, how do I put in book info? It's very, very
Arlysse,
practical.
I think
Similarly, the Pressbooks Edu version here. Oh, you have a question there. Did you want to put it in the chat there, or did you want to unmute yourself? Whatever works for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I'm on mute, but somehow I'm not sure. Can you hear me? No. What did I do?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
You guys.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
there we go. Okay, sorry.
Oh, okay.
We're
okay,
good.
yeah.
We're good.
I've been like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
No, it was me. It wasn't you. It was me.
Okay. My question is, if you want to clone, if you want to clone like a textbook, is it the same procedure?
Very, very similar. Yeah, absolutely. If we were going here, we would just go to clone a book. So just the drop down menu again there. And if I had, I don't have one on hand here, but either I take the Pressbooks URL there and I just pop it right in, all of this information, you basically just fill it in and just literally clone it. So it is really 1, 2, 3 as well. And then you can immediately start editing and everything. Let's see here. Is there even one that we could do as a sample? Maybe we'll do this at the very end. We can try that if we have time for it, but it really is just basically putting in that address and it creates the book for you and then you can edit right away. Okay. All right. So then Edu here, there is the section on cloning itself. So basically similar information, but it's just got a little bit extra for us with the Edu version. The Pressbooks YouTube channel is here. They're very, very thorough. They walk through everything in great detail. There's a lot of videos here, exceedingly useful YouTube channel. And this is all in the handout as well that I gave you there, all of the links to everything here. And this is our subject directory here. Now, if I were to start back at the beginning, I would go to the Open Textbooks website and scroll down here into the U of R OER by subject directory. So this is more general information about open textbooks and that kind of thing. But then these are already pre-created ones, right? So some of these you will be able to clone if it's a Pressbooks book itself, but not if it's from a different platform. But here again, everything is organized by faculty and by subject, and within the faculties, these aren't necessarily ones that we have at the U of R, not every single one of these topics, but they might be useful to different classes and that kind of thing. And you can go to literally any of the subjects here and then click on one of the textbooks and it should take you right there to the text itself. And there we go. So this is an astronomy textbook through OpenStax. So done and done. And if we go back a little bit here, if you prefer to look at the titles directly rather than digging through the different subjects, we do have an index down here at the bottom. And everything is just literally by alphabetical order. And same thing, you click on the title and you go straight to the textbook itself. So everything is here, very, very user-friendly. And then we have a little bit more information in the repositories. So here's, other collections similar to ours. Here you can go directly to LibreText. They have a Libre Commons and Libre Studio as their community continues to expand, that kind of thing. And then back at the top here, oops, a little too far. Then we've got, what is an open textbook? We've got some copyright information, all that kind of thing. Direct links to those library guides that I mentioned before, which I will show you momentarily as well. So a lot of information here generally about OER as well. Then here is the Pressbooks directory. Like I say, these are specifically Pressbooks and only Pressbooks. So depending on the licensing, most of these should be clonable, but they've got 3,400 books here. So, you could spend a lot of time digging in and seeing what other people are doing, get some ideas, decide if it's something you'd be interested in cloning, all that kind of thing. And it's all accessible through their website here. Then if I were to go, and back up, go over to the library website. So this is where we have Kara's guides here. So back to the landing page of the library, I go to research guides, I go to view all guides. One more time, all guides. You can put the title in. I find sometimes the little search engine there doesn't always do what I want it to do. So I just like to go to all guides and then I scroll down all the way to O, and I've got my open access, open educational resources and open textbooks. And I think it's OER that on one of these, Kara's got the link to our other resource there as well. But she's got some wonderful information here. Some, everything from basic definitions to, different textbook ideas. Oh, there's the OER directory, different options, different suggestions on how to evaluate and whatnot. She's got it all here for you. So really great resources from Kara. And scroll down again. There, that's better. Then we've got the H5P website here. You can try different things. They've got, different samples and different options. There's just so many things here. You could spend all day just looking at H5P, and it's a lot of fun, like the little games and things like that. It's a lot of fun to explore. Then I mentioned again, just to take a very quick peek at the different platforms here. So this is LibreText. They've got some basic information on their platform, but also the different options. They've got some really excellent models here. Like I say, a lot of the STEM textbooks tend to lean more towards LibreText and then over to Lyrics. Similarly, just the way the platforms work, sometimes it's a little better for, STEM equations and things like that, but it depends on what you're doing and what you're creating. And then similarly, Merlot is really they're working on really developing a community within Merlot. Like they've got different commons resources and that kind of thing. But basically, a lot of people are shifting to this community feel around OER and trying to make everything as accessible as possible, but also very user-friendly, looking at all of these different options. So let's just go back to Pressbooks here. And we can take another look at one of these books. Any questions right now? I know there's just a whole bunch of information, even from the introductory perspective. Did we want to take some time to try building some press books either together, or we can just, people can try it on their own, they can try logging in, whatever works for everybody here. We can either walk through that activity together, or we can just be here while you try it on your own. Any preferences? Any questions? We're all okay, just massive information, I know. Oh, and one in the chat here. You plan to clone a textbook, excellent. So yeah, that's, do you know which textbook you're going to do already? Do you have it, or?
Well, I've seen 2 textbooks, but I haven't really taken a good look yet to know
Right,
which
fair
one I
enough.
want to. Yeah, so
Oh, for
I
sure,
think
yeah.
I'll just troubleshoot on my own later.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
Because I'm
absolutely.
going to slow down the entire session. If I
Oh,
try
no,
to do
no,
that
not at
now.
all. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
basically have free time now. We can, I'll stop sharing just for the moment, but
Okay.
if people want to go to that, that activity, you can try going through.
Okay.
I'll just, you know, I'll show everybody the activity, and then you can decide what you would like to do with it, if you want to do it together, or no, my PDF there. So this is just, we've got the basic steps here. Everything from login information to, you know, basically just walking you through all of these little details. And always remember to click save. This seems like redundant information that, you know, we've been computer friendly long enough now, but no, always remember to save it, right? Always. So yeah, why don't I leave this up for a little bit? If people have questions, if they want to try it. I regret there's no big prize at the end for who can create a textbook the fastest, but you can troubleshoot, you can give it a go as we're sitting here, whatever works for you folks.
The textbook, I don't know, how can I find the textbook? Like it's like Principles of Financial Accounting, Volume 1 or something like that.
Okay.
If I want to pull it up.
Like, where would you find it? Is it is it one that you know is for sure online, or you're hoping it's online?
No, I've seen it online.
Okay.
Do I import the PDF, or how does it work?
If it is not Pressbooks, then we wouldn't be able to clone it. If it is Pressbooks, we can. But if it's in another platform, you can import a PDF, but it would be more like an attachment in the book. If you wanted the textbook, like just the content in the book, then you would be looking at copying and pasting that. For that kind of thing, you would still want to double check the licensing for sure at the beginning, just to make sure that it is okay to do that. But for importing PDFs directly, it just becomes an attachment within the book rather than importing the content. So for cloning, it's only for Pressbooks itself. Does that make sense?
So yes, it does. So I just have to find where the textbooks are.
Right. Yeah. Find them first. And then like if it's now you said Principles of Financial Accounting.
Yeah. Can I share my screen? I don't know if I can just...
Let me stop the screen share I'm not still screen sharing. Yeah. I think you should be able to go ahead.
Okay, let me just okay, just for you to just point it out so that I can...
Sure.
So this is what I see. Right. So I want to clone a book. Right. So if I click on that, so I have to go find the URL. Okay.
Yes. Now this will only work if it's Pressbooks. If it's not Pressbooks, then it won't be able to clone it.
It won't work. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But if it is, then we can go right ahead. If it's not, then it'll be either importing it in a different way, like copying and pasting, but yeah.
Okay, I'll go find it.
Oh, for sure. Sounds good. Yeah.
I'll go find it. Yeah, thank you.
For sure. And now I saw another hand up there, but it went down again. Did we have another question?
I had a question, but I sorted it out. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, for sure.
So does any of you have a short Word document that, so we can sort of step you through how to import Word, because a lot of you use Word, so you have some documents in Word. So does anybody have a short document? Just like a
I'll
two-pager,
short.
three-pager. Just 2 or 3 pages, that's it.
We can also use the Word version of the activity if you wanted to do that, Isaac. If you're looking for a document.
Yes, but I was hoping that we could walk one of them through it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just if you needed a sample text. Absolutely. Yeah.
It could even be just your course outline for some course or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything specific to just as long as it's a Word document, and we can sort of step you through how to actually bring it into Pressbooks. I think you're
That be sent by email, or how do you want to?
No, any Word document, any.
Oh, okay. So I have a, let me see, I think I can open the course outline.
Okay, so
course syllabus.
Could you share your screen?
Oh, sure.
The Pressbook screen.
Oh, okay. Where's the Pressbook? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. So we want. Do you have a book in here?
No, I do not have anything yet.
So can you create one? Just
okay.
So since most people will work, most of the professors that I've worked with have documents that are in Word, and of course, if you want to use Pressbooks, the simplest thing is to bring them in here by importing them. That's what I'm going to step you through. That way, like Arlysse said earlier, you have your Word document offline, and then you bring it into Pressbooks. So you see the import there?
Yeah.
So we're just going to click on that. And at the top, you need to select the docx format.
Okay.
And then you have to choose where the file is.
Okay.
Yeah, just click begin import. We can, Daryl, maybe after this, we'll get you to share your screen, then we can talk about that. Okay, so if you just click the title at the top there, it says title, click that, and then just show imported text. I think, is it chapter? I hope it doesn't give the issue that I had.
So what do I do now?
Just click on the import.
Oh, okay.
No, hopefully it should go through. And what's going to do is, you see the book that you just created. If you scroll down, it's the next chapter after chapter 1, and you just click on that. Click on the title unknown that you see there.
Okay, this one.
Click on it. And so this is the content that you just imported from Word. You now have it inside here. So if this was an actual text, all of your text would be in here.
Okay.
Yeah. So your whole outline is there.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So
but it doesn't work for PDF. So yeah.
No.
Okay.
You can't actually do that. So Daryl, you're asking about using LaTeX. Would you be able to share your screen?
Sure.
Are you logged into Pressbooks somewhere?
Yes. No, I'm trying to find it. There, I think that's me.
Okay.
So I can create a new book.
Yep. So you, as Arlysse mentioned, we can import in that import menu. You could see there were different formats that you could import. One of them was the docx, so we can import that, but you cannot import a PDF file. You also can't import, well, certain the other formats that don't show up in that list can't be imported. It's a simple way to put it. You probably have that already. If you can you put in a number afterwards, like 22 or something at the end?
Sure.
So if you want to use LaTeX, and there are some people who have actually created course content, whether textbooks or other resources, using Pressbooks that has used LaTeX in it. What you need to do is, so you're in your course. I can't see the left part of your menu. On the left side of your menu, there is the little thing that looks like a spanner. The plugins, that's it. You click on the plugins. And right at the bottom there is that WP Quick LaTeX.
Check mark.
Yeah, and then just activate it. So if you just see there on that little information there, it actually talks about how you can actually use different commands within the LaTeX commands in your file once you've activated this Quick LaTeX, right? And on the home page there, it actually gives some examples of things that you can now use. You can use a TixZ and some of those other things, right?
Okay.
So I believe if you go to Pavel's website, if you go to that website, you can see what they actually talk about, some of the specifics of how you can use LaTeX and what specifically you could use. So right at the top of your page, you would actually write, you see just in the middle there where it's February 14th, 2011, the date there, there's that square brackets inside LaTeX page right at the top of your chapter. And anywhere in the chapter after that, you can then use any of the LaTeX commands that you're familiar with.
Okay.
So that basically allows you to use commands in that chapter anywhere in the chapter. So all of these, as you can see here, all the braces, the double dollars, align, display math, all of those.
Okay.
And you can also use the graphics.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So it gets very flexible to be able to do that. Did anybody else have a question? Oh, so Lindsay.
Yes.
If you were using Pressbooks, would you be using video content?
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'll be using it for, but I suspect that being able to use video content would be really helpful. Is that possible with Pressbooks?
Well, are you logged in?
I am. I can share my screen.
Yeah. So are you in this is your book that you're in?
Yeah, this is just like a test book.
Okay, just go into your organize so you can go into one of the chapters.
Okay.
And then just go into whatever chapter 1, let's say,
Okay.
or it doesn't matter. So in another tab, you can just go to YouTube and get a YouTube video. It'd be the simplest thing, I guess.
Okay.
So if you can pick any video from here, what we really need is the link right at the top. Okay, so we just need the link at the top. If you copy that,
Okay.
and go into your chapter, and just underneath this sentence here, below the sentence parts there, just paste your chapter there, your link.
Oh, wow. It autofills.
Yeah, and then of course you just save that. And in the same box that you got saved, there's preview, so you can preview this particular chapter. And then there's your
Wow. So does the video, will it have to be on YouTube, or can you embed videos like from Vimeo, or if it lives somewhere
you
else
can
on the
embed
web?
from this embed where you just need the link works for Vimeo as well as YouTube.
Oh,
And
excellent.
also for your what's it called, media space within the University of Regina. So if you have videos in your UR courses that are sitting in your media space, you can embed them there. And it's actually probably better that you have the video in your media space as opposed to YouTube because of the broken link issue, right?
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it looks like, is this a spot too where you could add your own, like upload your own?
This would be, here you could add playlists, audio, and images.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see that the size limit is pretty small.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's actually really helpful. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, that's super helpful option.
Janine, was there anything that you were planning on using Pressbooks for?
No, we currently use Pressbooks right now for a couple of our courses. So I'm just kind of listening in just to see if there's any ways I can do things better than what we're doing and just learn a little bit more about it. So,
okay.
Because I know we're using them just really at the intro level, and I'm sure that there's more things that we can do with it. So just kind of listening in and learning.
Right. Did you want to show how to clone Arlysse?
Sorry, I think you muted for just a second, but yeah, did you want to do a clone? Do you have it open or?
The problem is I don't really have, it takes a while for some of them.
Yeah.
So if it's a really short one, I don't really have a short one.
Yeah, I don't
but
I don't have a planned clone textbook, but
okay. Because I think that's one of the most useful things, because you want to try to adapt, then cloning what already exists will be helpful.
yeah.
I'll just let's see. Let me see if I can do this. Maybe what I can do is I can show how it's done. I'll use the directory actually.
Sure, yeah. Or even just one of our demo books. You could technically clone one of those, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to make it public though. They've got a lot of stuff in them. Let me just go and let's see. Okay. I'm just going to share my screen and just so that you know how to, okay, I have to move all of the, okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. So what Arlysse was saying is that you can only clone certain types of resources. They have to have a certain license. So they cannot be these with the ND here, you can't clone. These ND or the all rights reserved. So there are 3 that you cannot clone. If you forget and you try to clone it, it'll tell you that you cannot clone it. So even if you don't remember, it'll just tell you this operation can't be performed, right? So what I'm going to do is I will show you what message you'll get. So the very first one we have here, this here is copyrighted. So what we need to do if we want to clone it is to get the address at the top. So here is the address. Now I know that it can't be cloned, but I'll try it anyway just to show you what happens. So I only need the top 2 to be completely filled in. So I'm going to put this in here and then I'll click clone. And this is what happens. So it'll tell you that it's not licensed for cloning. And then you go back and say, oh, okay, it's all rights reserved. So, well, we can't clone that. What we can clone is any of the other licenses except those 3. So for example, I don't know how long any of these are. Let's take this one here. Oh, art history. Okay, interesting. So what we need is just to take this, the address at the top, and we put it in here. And usually what I will do is I will just have it be an exact clone, including the title, but you could change the title to something else. And then I'll click this here. I don't want to clone it, but well, let me just let it go, just so that you see. So then what it's going to do is it's going to make an exact copy of this book. So this book here, if you see here, actually, let's go back. Let's go back to the Pressbook guide. It has 19 H5P activities within it. And what the clone will do is it will copy every single thing over, like Arlysse said, it make an exact copy, which includes all of these activities. So everything will come on over, including the cover page and everything. So when it's done, you will actually get a message, and you probably shouldn't, you kind of need to wait. So if you want to do something else in Pressbooks, it's probably better you open a different tab and go into Pressbooks in the next tab and do whatever you need to do until in this tab, you get a message that the cloning is complete. Then once the cloning is complete, you can go into the book and actually see it. So I can show you if I go into my area, I can go to my books and I can show you books that have been cloned in my space, and just using that exact method. And they're very, it's very useful because, like Arlysse mentioned earlier, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can then build upon what somebody else has done, right? So most of these books in here, these 3 books, for example, this came from, well, let me actually go to this book and I'll show you. When you clone a book, it will say so in the book information. When you open it, when you go visit it to actually look at it, it will show you that it's been cloned. So this is the title, the cover page, everything. And when you scroll down, you'll have an exact copy of every chapter. Then at the bottom where it has the metadata, it'll tell you that the book was cloned. Okay, so that's one way that you can check whether the book is an original or whether it's been cloned. It'll tell you down here in the book source. But it copies over all of the information, as you can see here. All the information tells publication date. So this is under the book info. So if you want to adapt this resource, which means that you'll now change, maybe you'll have a different name, you will then need to have your own metadata that will, of course, have the, you'll have the attribution somewhere in there in your references or wherever at the top, maybe you might have an attribution. Don't know if they do in this one, but a lot of times people put an attribution at the top, or they'll just have it in the text, wherever it is. And you'll have all the other information in here, like all the references, all the chapter references. If you add another chapter, then that will become additional to what's already in there. So let me just go back here. It's almost done, almost done, almost done. Oh, and then the other thing that I think that, let me just go back here. So what if you did this, and I've done this before. So in this one, all the H5P came in as well. So this is an H5P. It just gives you, it's like a accordion, right? It talks about everything comes over exactly as you see it appearing in the original textbook. And I think it has done. So this book that we cloned, if I go down to the bottom here, it says Canadian Art Histories. So if I open it, I should see the cover page, and I should see that information that we were just looking at. If I go to the page website, so here it is. It says it's got some H5P in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open in a new tab the actual book so I can actually just see. So there's the page, the information, the authors, the license, everything in here. Sample syllabus is in there. And then here it is. It's cloned. Okay. And it's got all the metadata there. And if you go in, if you know exactly where the H5P are, you can go in to actually see. I have no idea because I didn't see, but they'll be in here somewhere. Wherever they were in the original text, they'll be in the same location in the text that you just cloned. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? And like you can see here, if there's video, all the video come on over, everything comes over. So it becomes very useful. So Abiyadan, the only thing that you need to check, I think, is just that your financial accounting is a press book. If it's not, then you might have to do it a different way. But I have seen, I think on not press books, but in one of the other repositories, like I know if you go to the open textbook library, I think it's, what is it, Minnesota, University of Minnesota?
Yeah, the two that I found, they were on open textbooks.
Yeah.
So I'll just have to check whether we have something in press books. Otherwise, I'll have to figure out how to bring that in, and whether I can, depending on the copyright.
I think they should be, because the open textbook library is, from what I remember, they were openly licensed.
Okay.
The only thing is, if they have it in multiple formats, like if you go to BC Campus on their textbook site, sometimes they actually have some of those resources in multiple formats. So they're in Pressbook format, and then they're sometimes also in Word format.
Okay.
So then, you can, if they're in the Pressbook format, then you can bring it in. But
yeah,
it just depends on where it is that you saw. I have seen it here before. Like,
yeah. There was some search by subject. So I went to business, I went to then accounting, and then I found them there.
Yeah, because I'm on that website for Open Textbook Library, and it is Principles of Financial Accounting, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the textbooks. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one is from University of North Georgia Press.
I'm not. I just have to check. Where did I even keep it? I think it was in fall.
And I think this one is because I was on their website and
Yeah.
I was looking and I can't remember if they had multiple formats. I think it was just because on this website it's just PDF.
This PDF, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, on their website also it's a
Also.
PDF. They
Yeah.
have a downloadable PDF.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
if you wanted to ask them.
yeah, because I'm not actually sure yet whether I want to use those textbooks because it is a whole lot more than the class I want to use them for. So
Mhm.
I'll have to decide whether I'd rather just start from the scratch, whether it's worth cloning, right? Yeah, because they had the textbook going into like 1,000+ pages, and I'm trying to look for something that I can just design just what the class needs for
Right.
an intro class. Yeah.
Right.
So, but I haven't had time to sit down and look at the textbook in detail. So at that point, I'll decide whether it's worth, asking for, another version or any other thing if I decide that I'll use it.
Mm.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile to see if you can find something that's in the directory, the Pressbooks directory.
Yeah, I'm going to start with that.
And if you do find something that might simplify life for you.
It will definitely make life easier.
I know there is one. There is one. I just did a search under accounting.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
there is something called Principles of Accounting. It's financial accounting.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's Principles of Financial. It's like OpenStax. This is the OpenStax one. Have you seen that one? Oops. I think
she might be frozen there.
Yeah, I think so. But there is, oh, actually, there's 2 copies of it. Well, yeah, there's a few on here actually. So maybe she might be able to. One of them is copyrighted. Actually, 2 of them are copyrighted, but the other ones she'd probably be able to copy. But
oh yeah, I think her internet went down there, but
right.
well, we can follow up with her for sure. But
Yeah. Okay.
Did anybody else have any other questions, or we're doing okay? Yeah, and like I say, please feel free to email either one of us or those resources. There's a lot of manuals and things like that if you prefer that as well. So anytime you have a question, let us know.
Yeah. I think Joyce was I think you're almost done, right?
Almost done ours? Yeah. Well, as done as any OER project ever is, right? Like it's hard to put sort of a stamp on the end, when it's like a constant iterative process. And with interactive documents like lab manuals, which is what I'm primarily doing, it's there's always something to tweak, right? Or the HD5 stuff, trying to bring that in potentially, and it's just, yeah, like I mentioned yesterday, just kind of beyond our capacity right now, but at some point it'd be nice to include that. So she's back. Yay.
Right.
Thanks for sharing that link, by the way, because it's good to that Pressbooks directory. It's nice to bring that back over and over. Time I open, there's a cool thing. So anyway, I'll let carry on.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I lost network.
Yeah, well, that's what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah, can you help to post that link again, please?
Yeah.
My chat has cleared. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
So I let me just share my screen with you to show you what that link shows me. I just went here and I put in accounting, and so I got this one here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who that's from, and then this one here, and the specific one I was looking for
this is one of the ones that I saw.
So
Yeah.
this one can be
The blue
cloned.
one, yeah.
Yeah, so this can be cloned because of the license here,
That's
and it's
it,
got
okay.
H5P in it, so that might be
Mm.
exciting. Although
Okay.
you might want to look at it because, like you said, you want to,
Yeah,
condense
just
things.
trying to condense. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you can't clone this
Mm.
one. This is a little bit different. There is another one I saw. Here's another one, which is, I think, the volume 2 of the other one, but it can't be
Of the other
cloned
one.
because of copyright.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's this? I don't know. Oh, well, this is volume 1, but you can start with those just to sort of see.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one, next page here.
Mm.
Okay. Not sure if there's anything else, because sometimes it doesn't quite bring up, a whole bunch of stuff. Other times you might find, like, what I sometimes will do is I'll go to some of the other Pressbook. If you look up here, you can search by network, but you need to know what network. So
Okay.
usually what I sometimes will do is I'll go to, let's say, BC Campus, because BC Campus really keeps a fairly
A lot.
a lot of things in their repository, and they link to a lot of things. So I'll sometimes check other places, especially in BC. I'll check KPU and BC Campus just to
Okay.
see if they have anything there. So that's
Okay.
always good. But you do have those 2 that are in there
Yeah.
that you could start with, just to see if
Okay.
there's anything there that you can
We can start with.
leverage.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then, of course, if you have questions, the cloning is very easy. It's just the other part where you have to now start, working on things. That's sometimes things get a little bit, you might have questions with this or that, but you can always send us an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you for the session. I'll have to run now.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
coming.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank you.
Arlysse.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Yeah.
Take care. See you in another
See you.
session.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay. Let me. Okay, where's the? Hey, where's the? Where's my video? The recording.
It was there just until everybody left. Oh, if you click on more.
Yeah, I'm looking. Here we go. There we go.